Bizzy Izzy, that looks like a nice pizza. May I have a piece?
Sure, but how big would you like your piece to be?
This big.
We have a way to describe that in math. And you know what it's called?
Part of?
It's called fractions!
Fractions. I've heard of that before.
Here's how it works. Fractions look like this. 1/8 or 1/8. We read this as 1/8. The 1 is the top part, called the numerator, and the 8 is the bottom part, called the denominator. We use a line, called a vinculum, to separate the top and the bottom.
So what does the 1 mean, and what does the 8 mean?
That's a good question, Super Sarah. Let's say we have an object like this pizza. It's one object, but any object can be split into equal pieces. This pizza has 8 equally sized slices. It has a total of 8 slices, and I'm going to take one of those parts. We write that as the number of selected parts, the numerator, then the vinculum, and then the number of total parts. So in our case, it would be 1, then a line, and then an 8.
I get it. The bottom is the total number, and the top is the part of the total. We call this a fraction. Okay, so we have how many pieces there? If you said 4, you were correct. And after I pick up one of the 4 pieces, there's a way that we write that down. If I take one group as a unit of its own, we say 1 out of 4, or 1/4, or quarter. This is 1/4 of that whole. And if I take 2 of them, it's 2 quarters, and then 3 of them would be 3 quarters. To write a quarter, most people write a 1, a slash, then a 4. The slash is a forward slash, and it's actually called a vinculum. It's important to use the correct slash, which is a forward slash. The forward slash, green in this animation, has the top part to the right, and the red slash is the backslash, and the top of the backslash is to the left. This is not the conventional way to write it, because the backslash has a different meaning. The green slash, which is the forward slash, is the correct one for use in fractions. So the slash actually means divide. That's why we're using this slash mark. 1 divided by 4. Sometimes people put a horizontal line, 1/4. There's also different ways to say it. You could say a quarter 1/4, or 1/4.
It's time for a Jumpstar challenge! When reading a fraction, there are simple rules. Let's say I have 3 squares and I take 1. What fraction of the whole set did I take? The answer is a third! So now a really common one is this one. We've got 2 pieces. So if I take one of the 2 pieces, how much of the whole thing have I taken?
I know.
Yes, Super Sir?
A half.
That is correct. So when you're dealing with 2 pieces, it's a half. 3 pieces, a third. 4 pieces, a quarter. But after that, for 5, 6, 7, or 8 total pieces, we start using the ordinal number word. For example, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and so on.
It goes on for all the numbers in the world. To make the ordinal version, just add like million becomes millionth. Fun fact, there's actually a word in math that has no vowel. Nth. More on that in another episode. Now this is interesting. I'm going to take 2 blocks off of this. How could you write that?
Well, there are 6 pieces and you took 2. So that would be 2/6.
That is correct. But if you split the blocks into 3 groups, how would you write that?
Well, you took away 1 group, so that's 1 over 3.
That's correct. These are both the same, so sometimes you can group an item together. This is called reducing a fraction. The numbers in the third, 1 and 3, are less than 2 and 6. This is why we refer to it as reducing a fraction, without changing its value. We'll practice this in an upcoming episode.
Now for your thought assignment. We have a piece of pizza. It's actually a square pizza and divided into 3 rows and 3 columns. How many pieces are there? So it's 3 times 3, which is what?
Well, there are 3 groups of 3, so that's 3 plus 3, which equals to 6 plus 3 would be 9.
Yes, that is correct. So there's 9 pieces of pizza, and I take 1 right out of the middle. How many did I take? And how do I write it down?
Well, there are 9 pieces, and you took 1, so that would be 1/9.
We use fractions in a lot of places in daily life. For example, when measuring foods or liquids, like when cutting a pie, or measuring milk for a cake. We also use them when writing and playing music. For example, a quarter note takes up a quarter of a bar, and a half note takes up half a bar. So that's the first lesson on fractions. We've got the numerator, and the denominator, and the virtuum, also known as the slash, and what it means, which is to divide by, and a bit of practice. We also learned that fractions can be reduced. For example, 2/6 are exactly the same as the third, or 4/8 is actually the same as a half. Stay tuned for more lessons on fractions. Thanks for watching, guys. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure to subscribe to see what we're up to next, and if you like this video, click the thumbs up and share this video with your friends. See you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.